Hey everyone, Paul Riopelle here. Welcome to episode 10. Today, my guest. You know him, we know him. We call him Goody, David Goodstein, drummer in the Jerry Riopelle Band since 2011. Great singer, great drummer, great appreciator of all things music. It's a good one. Good music, good talk. Here we go. Welcome back to the Riopelle Room. I've got here in the room today, I've got David Goodstein. Goody, are you there?
I am indeed.
Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well, considering.
David Goodstein, you've been playing drums in the Jerry Riopelle Band, or you were playing drums in the Jerry Riopelle Band since 2011. And so, well, first of all, what I want to do is take you back for a minute. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. We're going back. Back. David Goodstein, 2011. Do you remember how we met? We met through David Jenkins.
We met through Jenkins.
Yeah, and that was for the Motion gig, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
You guys were putting the Motion back together. I did a few gigs with you guys. One, I remember it was really fun. I played rhythm guitar and sang lead.
Right. Well, then we also told my dad about you.
I think you sent your dad, from what I remember, you sent your dad a song that I sang. It was one of his. It was probably Livin the Life.
It was Livin the Life. But what I remember is that we actually performed it for him over the phone from the Baked Potato. Does that seem familiar?
So. I think I think there were two different moments where he asked you who the singer was, and you said, "Oh, it's our new friend David." And then the next time he said, "Who's drumming?"
Yeah,
and you said the guy that was singing.
Yeah,
and then the next thing I remember, I was on stage with him.
Well, right. Well, the first time on stage with him was at the Troubadour, the reunion party at the Troubadour.
Yes,
you sat in, and that was like I don't think he had ever even rehearsed with you at that point. I don't believe
it wasn't a sit-in; it was a gig. It was.
Well, we did
played
like a few songs. We had few songs.
He had like a 20-minute set.
Right. And you...
It's like Beatles style.
Right. I don't remember. I think Tara may have sang on that one as well. But
I think Tara did.
Yeah. But anyway, so that led... Obviously, my dad dug you incredibly. He loved the way you played, loved the way you sang. He loved your personality. And you ended up doing the first official gig, which was in Prescott in 2011. Let me see. I wrote the date down. What is that? Yeah, September 2011 was your first official Jerry Riopelle full gig. And so, yeah, you fell in love with the song Livin the Life.
Yes. Well, we were covering it like on all those Motion gigs before, we played it a few times.
Yes. But you realized that Livin the Life had been out of his set for years. And the only reason it came back was because of you. And it was almost, I think it was in every set since you joined the band. But that very first time when you said, we've got to do Livin Life, and then you saw the set list and the first song was Livin the Life and all the other Riopelle songs. What was your comment? Do you remember?
I said, it's going to be kind of strange for your dad if I'm singing the first song in the set.
Right. And I told him, and he loved that, and that was hilarious.
It was steamy and hot. There was really no basis when I got to the spot. It was still an oasis, and believe it or not, by the look on our faces, we were living the life, living the life. We were living the life. We stranger when we got to high noon. You just laughed at the danger. We were living the life. Oh, living the life. We were living the life. We were alive. They say someday a man must understand the things he does. Wish that I could tell what it was. Oh, I know what it really was. It really was. Really was just steaming hot, chasing the sorrow. But we got what we got. Beg, steal, or borrow, and believe it or not, well, there ain't no tomorrow when you're living the life. Oh, living the life. We were living the life. Oh, we were living the life. Oh, living the life. Oh, living the life. We were living the life. We were alive.
So, what do you remember about meeting Jerry? Do you have a memory about the first time you guys?
I think we rehearsed at Swing House,
Mm-hmm.
and I just remember him with the vape.
Right.
And at that point, I think I was still smoking.
You were, yeah.
And yeah, I just remember him sucking on that vape and putting it in his front pocket and
Yeah.
running the tunes. He was great. I fell in love with him immediately. The stories, it was a great experience.
You've been the drummer since 2011.
Yeah.
And you were also quite prominent in the tribute shows that we had, the one in L.A. and the one in Scottsdale, the last one. You got to sing Livin the Life and several others. Let's play something, David. Let's play a song, one of your favorite songs. Which one do you want to hear first?
I have a bunch of favorites,
I know
just
you do.
for the record.
Yeah, I know you do.
Whatever one you want to go with.
Let's try Shoulder to the Wheel.
Okay.
Let's listen to Shoulder to the Wheel. And this has got Jim Gordon on drums. It's got Wilton Felder on bass and Dave Plen on lead guitar. And, of course, Jerry on vocals and Wurlitzer. And here we go. Here's Shoulder to the Wheel.
It's finger popping time. I'm living on the borderline long enough. Just can't hang around. I need to get way down. Shoulders to the wheel. Whoa, the wheel ain't turning round. Dandelion wine won't hold me, baby, it's a sign I'm breaking through. My eyes are growing old. My hands just wanna hold the shoulders to the wheel. Oh, but the wheel is mighty cold. Oh, I remember just this morning I was dying of thirst. Oh, I'd surrender. Things would only get a little bit worse. Here I go again. I'm leaving, knowing it's a sin to love alone. Just another crime, and crime ain't worth a dime. Shoulders to the wheel, oh, but the wheel ain't on the line. in time, living on the borderline long enough. I can't hang around. I need to get way down. The shoulders to the wheel, oh, but the wheel is in the ground.
How long does it go? Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. What do you say to that?
When's the last time you actually listened to that song? Have you ever listened to that song with headphones?
I have a few of those songs in my list of songs that I listen to. Music's very, I don't know what the right word is. You know, it's kind of like medicine.
Uh-huh.
And I use it to support whatever mood I'm in or whatever I'm feeling at that time. And just because of the, you know, my discursive mind,
Yeah.
It tends to change, you know, a playlist of what I go through the
Right.
day. That song might be in it, and the next song would be like a Michael Jackson song that didn't make the cut for Bad in 1987, you know. So it's strange where I go with it. But
What are you into these days? What are you listening to right now?
again, everything.
Everything.
I don't discriminate. There's only two types of music for me: good music and bad music.
Right.
But the song, I mean, Shoulder to the Wheel, that's just, it's got everything in there, really.
Yeah. I love Dave's playing the slide. It's great.
Oh, the slide solo is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that rhythm section,
Yeah. Oh, come on. Yeah.
that's the one on a lot of those songs that I keep going back to.
And the tom with the snare vibration.
Yeah. No, but there's just so much of your dad in that song.
Yeah.
It's just this like wagon wheel that's about to fall off.
Mm-hmm.
And it just keeps, it's just this mixture and the imagery and just the way his choices are always, you know, I need to, anybody else would have been like, let's be clever. I need to get down. You know, the note would have gone down, but he's like, I need to get down. Like
Yeah.
that's
He did a lot of break into falsetto in his early vocal stuff. He didn't.
Yeah, but
not
to
as
jump
much later.
to jump up to a falsetto when you're singing the word down.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's what I'm
I see
talking
what you're
about.
saying. Okay,
That's
yeah.
your dad.
Yeah.
That's him to make that choice. It just, that sums up like what he was as an artist to me. Just always taking a different, you know, a different path with it.
Yeah. Yeah. He obviously he loved you. I think I've told you this, but he got a bunch of photos. Someone made a photo montage from the last gig that we all did with him in 2017. And one of the first things he says was like, "Oh man, I'm glad," because there's a big close up of you on it. He goes, "I'm so glad Goodstein's in this," and that was just.
No, we had a really cool thing. I think he appreciated my respect and reverence for the old days. You know, he would say stuff to me like, man, if I had you at A&M in the late 60s, we would have made some killer records and we would have made a lot of money.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite memory of him? Something that stands out? I mean, maybe there's several, but anything in particular that you can...
Nothing particular.
Yeah.
I would think it would be the stories that he would tell. You know, he would tell me Lenny Bruce stories. He would tell me stories about Phil.
Of course, Philip.
The Beatles story is one of my favorite stories.
Yeah, what was that? Which one was that? Where he's punching
I guess they finished the session. They went over to Pink's, and your dad was like, "We're sitting in the back of the limo on La Brea." I asked him what Phil was like,
Right.
and he said, "Let me tell you this story. this will tell you what he was like. We finished the session. Sometimes we'd get hot dogs at Pink's. So we drove over to Pink's on La Brea.
Mhm.
We're in the alley. We're eating hot dogs. I don't remember which song it was, but one of the first Beatles songs that was played in America comes on the radio. He starts freaking out, punching the back of the seat, yelling and screaming. I'm like, what the hell's going on? What do you, he goes, you don't understand. This is a new band from London.
Uh-huh.
These guys are like in their early 20s. They're writing, playing, arranging, singing, everything, all by themselves with one producer.
Mm-hmm.
And Jerry's like, so? And Phil's like, you don't understand.
Yeah.
The music business, as we know it, is going to be gone forever.
Yeah.
And your father said, you have to remember, at that time, people like me and Phil would write and arrange and compose, and then the artist would sing.
Yeah.
And then other people would play. So there were like 3 groups handling the song. And now here come these 4 guys from England that did it all on their own. But what makes the story so Phil, and this is your dad talking,
Mm-hmm.
he's like, less than 7 years later, there he is when they're suing each other and breaking up. There he is producing like 2 different guys in the band solo stuff and producing the band themselves with Let It Be.
Right.
Because he went from the alley on La Brea yelling and screaming about him to London working with them. That is Phil.
Right. That is Phil, among other things. Phil is a complicated character.
Yeah. But yeah, aside from the stories, there'd be just moments on stage where he, as you know, he was a drummer.
Yeah.
There's certain things I'd hit, certain things I'd do, and he would turn around and we'd have a moment live.
Yeah. He was a drummer, and I always say to people, because his keyboard parts were fairly simple. I mean, let's for example, let's take Naomi's song or Livin the Life, the intros, gong glong or glong glong. It's very hard for people to play with that feel. And I think it's because he was a very feel-oriented drummer. And I think he played keyboard he approached it the way a drummer would. That's my theory.
I'll tell you what it is.
Go ahead.
I didn't realize it when I was younger, but now that I'm older, I know what it is. There's certain people that approach, how do I explain this? I love musicians who approach their instrument from another instrument.
Right.
Like nothing's more boring to me than, with rare exception, than a guitar player or, a piano. It's hard to, there's a guy I came up with in Miami, monster piano player and very accomplished jazz musician too. And what I loved about him is when he was a kid, and he told me this, he goes, I didn't get into the piano players until later. When I was coming up, I was listening to Michael Brecker and Alan Holdsworth, and that's the stuff that I was transposing on keyboards. And I'm like, okay, you just named a sax player and a guitar player.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what inspired you to play piano. So guys that approach the instrument from another instrument, I always gravitate towards them because they have a unique take on the instrument. Your dad didn't take piano lessons, and he certainly didn't approach the piano from the viewpoint of a piano student. It was a vehicle to write.
Yes.
So I would gather the same thing with the guitar. He played the guitar the same way he played the piano. And I'm sure he played the drums the same way. I don't think he probably wasn't the greatest drummer in the world either, but they were vehicles for something else. It wasn't about the instrument. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But what you said just reminded me of Kim Fowley. Jenkins was hanging out with Kim Fowley somewhere years ago and said, oh yeah, my friend Jerry Riopelle worked with you. And Kim Fowley goes, Jerry Riopelle, he's a great drummer.
Yeah. I wish I could have heard him play.
Yeah.
I wish I don't know why I never said, hey, come back here.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
I don't know why that never happened. He never seemed to really care though.
Not much about, he would have, if you would have told him to sit back there, he probably would have
Oh, great.
So, Goody, let's play another song. Let's listen to another song.
Don't you get caught up on the border with your blue jeans down, crazy one horse town, splashing the friendly fire water, aged in underground. You might really drown in the Gulf of Mexico, in the Gulf of Mexico, in the heart-breaking, naked, gaping, Gulf of Mexico. Oh, you just might not let go. Well, I met a lady on the river. It was all downstream, just like any dream. I took a lot so I could give her all she gave to me, but I could not come clean. In the Gulf of Mexico, in the Gulf of Mexico, in the back, breaking, naked, taking, Gulf of Mexico. Oh, you just might not let go. Your silver hook hurts just a little if the cut is kind. It's a salty wine. Oh, those big fish bite for those small fish nibble. How strong is your line? You catch on in time. You there in the Gulf of Mexico, in the Gulf of Mexico, in the heart-breaking, naked, gaping Gulf of Mexico. Oh, you just might not let go.
I'm picturing him at the end right there. You know, those last few hits. Watching him for the cues, basically.
Yeah. No, that song, it's exhausting. It's just emotionally exhausting every time I hear that song. There's just so much imagery in that song, and musically, it just, the first time I heard it, I knew that was going to be the one that, you know, out of all of them, that's probably the one that, you know, that and Livin the Life and So Young, you know, there's a few of them that I absolutely love. And there's moments, you know, especially in So Young and all of them.
Yeah.
But There's just something about Gulf of Mexico that it's almost a scary song to me. It just brings back, I mean, it's so beautiful, and I'm not saying no one else can appreciate it, but like, if you grew up in Florida, there's just something out, there's another 12% of that song that you're going to get. It's really hard to explain other than that. Mm-hmm. I remember a buddy of mine grew up in Providence, Rhode Island, and he's like, as funny as you think Family Guy is, if you grew up in Rhode Island, you'd be getting about 15% more of the jokes. And I was like, that makes sense.
Right.
And it's kind of like that. Like, you know, like if you're Jewish, you're going to get about 15% more, 20% of those Woody Allen movies and Mel Brooks movies.
Of course.
And that is
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Exactly. As you can laugh your butt off and get all of it. But if you're Jewish, you're going to get another 10%, 12% more of it.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's what golf is to me. If you're from Florida, you're going to get a little bit more of it. You know, there's so much imagery there. The hook, the fish, the water, it's yeah.
So would you say, is that your favorite Riopelle tune, would you say?
If you held a gun to my head, I'd say yeah.
Really? More than Livin the Life? Interesting.
Well, Livin the Life, So Young, and that one. Yeah. Those three are really hard to beat.
Yeah. Well, yeah, personally, lyrically, I think So Young, especially the bridge, was probably his best lyric.
I'll tell you, there's a moment in Livin the Life, lyrically, that I think it's as good as anything that I've ever heard, where we were living the life. And then at the end, you know, there ain't no tomorrow when you're living the life. That is just like,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I could talk about your dad all day. Mm-hmm. You know, I wish I had more of what, you know, like I didn't get into the band really until like 5 years ago. You know, there's still so much music that I'm coming into.
Mm-hmm. Oh, by the band, you mean the band?
Yeah, the band.
Okay, right.
You know, and I know he was a big fan of that stuff.
Huge.
And now I get it, you know, and I wish I could have, if I have a regret, it's that I could have brought more to the music.
Speaking of the band, people, you must go to YouTube and search out David Goodstein's version of, oh crap. Give me the title, David.
No.
What? The band song, Life is a Carnival. What do you mean no? What's wrong with you? It's amazing. Goodstein's singing and playing drums, and basically had just discovered the band, right? Prior to that tribute.
Well, that was funny because, you know, I'm in the Wild Honey camp, and we'll do the Beatles, we'll do the Beach Boys, and then that year, you know, they picked the band, and I was like, oh no, you know, because the guys in that camp, you know, they know all that music the way we know the Beatles. And I was like, I don't want to be that guy, you know. And I remember Jordan Summers, you know, who over the years would provide your dad keyboards for those gigs and rehearsals.
He helped him a lot with that. Yeah.
Big fan of your dad's. He was the one that was like, I said to him, I'm like, what do I pick? What do I do? Like, what, you know? And he said, pull the car over right now. I don't care what you're doing, and listen to the song Life is a Carnival, and then text Dave Jenkins immediately before someone else calls it and get that song to play and drum on. And I did. And God, that's one of my favorite songs ever. And they're one of my favorite bands ever now.
Yeah.
You know,
and they should be. And David, that has to be the highlight of the evening for me, your performance of that song.
There were a lot of great moments.
There were. I'm saying for me, Life is a Carnival.
We got to do King Harvest with Terry Reid and Bob Glob on bass. That was a blast.
Yeah. Oh, Rag Mama Rag is actually my dad's last official live performance. That Rag Mama Rag performance. He wasn't feeling well for that, and
he killed it.
Well,
we did great.
It was okay.
It was fun.
It was not. It was better than it felt in the moment, but it was fun, and it was the first song of the night, or the first full band song. Always technical difficulties with that many performers. Yeah. So coming, you know, obviously the tribute show we did in Scottsdale that was going to be the first of an annual event, which of course we have to wait and see what happens with that. But I want to do a cover album of Riopelle tunes, which I'm hoping you will be involved in. And we get to
I would be honored.
Yeah. That's just coming down the line as soon as I can figure out how to make that happen. You brought in, so you were friends with Chris Price. You kind of introduced him to everyone in LA, right? Were you responsible for that? Another Miami
Chris,
guy.
Yeah, I knew Chris before he moved out here. I'm not sure how that happened.
Oh, okay.
I might have helped, but Chris in his own right was, before he even moved out here, he had a band with his brothers.
That's right.
They were working with Abe Laboriel Jr., Paul McCartney's drummer. He was producing them.
Wow.
And I don't remember what happened with that, but that was all before he even moved out here.
Oh.
So
let's just listen to one more song. I know the bridge in this song kills both of us. And let's see what happens this time. Take a listen.
Right on.
everything lasts. I'll see love, dream, and I'll never wake up. And I'll change every day, and I'll taste every cup. I'm so young.
There it is.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Those drums.
Just rocking. I love the
Right,
sound of his voice in that one too.
Yeah.
There's just this when he when he comes in on the chorus. So yeah, there's something
Sounds doubled.
Yeah, but the thing is, he'll do that. So yeah. It's just like it's so fucking huge. Can we curse?
Yeah, you can curse. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's just so big.
Oh. I remember when you did a song at the tribute, the Wild Honey thing. You're like, you were doing My Dad or something. You were channeling his. Oh.
Yeah. Hey. He just had this, like, it's so huge. I mean, he was a little guy.
Yeah.
But it's like Prince, you know? I'm a huge Prince fan, and there's just moments in his music where you're like, that's like the biggest moment ever. And the dude is just so small.
He's a little guy.
It's like that song is huge. It's just huge. He's enormous in that song.
Yeah, I think that and Talk to Me are as far as writing are his favorites of his own. I mean,
those are mine as well. Talk to Me is a ridiculous song.
Yeah. Well, we probably should have done that one, but we didn't. Next time.
Like I said, we could do this all day.
Yeah, we could. Anyway, Goody, thanks for joining me in the Riopelle room.
Thanks for having me. It's an honor. My growth and development as a musician has always come from expanding my world and playing with people and learning what needs to be learned. And your dad was a big, big part of that. And I'll always be grateful for that, for the time that I had with him. I learned a lot.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Please give your mother a hug.
I will. So yeah, thanks for joining me, David, and we'll see you next time. And one more thing.
Yeah.
Do you have anything you want to plug? Do you have a YouTube channel so people can just look for you and find things? And
I have an Instagram.
Okay.
Find me on Instagram, and I
David
am
Goodstein.
in the process of finishing my songs.
Right.
I guess when there's something to hear, I'll let you know.
Absolutely. And I think you do have a musician fan page, so to speak, on Facebook, right?
I do.
Not your personal page, but
no, stay
David
away
Goodstein
from that.
Yeah. But,
no, I might have a YouTube channel.
That's what I thought you did.
I don't know. Try to find it. If you can't, just find me on Instagram.
Just look for on all social platforms. Just put in David Goodstein drummer. You'll find something.
Yeah, you'll find something. All right.
Yeah, you'll find something. You'll see why Goodstein has been banned from social media in a lot of ways.
From Facebook.
Facebook, I know.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. We'll see you next time in the
Thanks,
Riopelle
Paul.
room. Yes.
Love you.
Love you too. Bye, folks.